Hello again, traders. Right, this is a really impromptu video, but it's more for myself than anything else. But if it helps or gives anyone some sort of inspiration, then that's all to the good. So this is here because I've just literally tweeted something about how much I love the TMA, and I've been staring at it and using it a lot just recently. This went up over 20, just under 20 pips, sorry. So literally there's the last few pennies running on it, and I've closed 95%. So getting back to what the reason for this video, you can see we've got the bust up, pullback, and then the break and close of the 20 level on the RSI. That's on that green bar, but this triggered the minute it breaks the 20, so it doesn't have to close above it. So it triggered, I could see it was a good setup, and I took the trade. I've been in gold short and Aussie dollar short overnight. We're looking at it's 2:47 in the morning in the UK, and I shouldn't even be awake, but I couldn't sleep, or mainly because of this new thing I've found. So it literally came to me during the day today when I was doing a bit of scalping. How can I look at this TMA and compare, say for example, something like this with what I can, what would be a good trade? How can we filter out the bad entries? And I noticed one easy way that I've never done before, never looked at before, never noticed before, because you know what I'm like now. If you've watched any of my videos, I like the 3CR, I like the RSI histo bust, pullback, break and close below the low of the bust. Doesn't have to necessarily be through the 20 level, just the added momentum after a pullback. So a bigger red bar, that's what I mean by the bust, pullback, break and close. Notice here it didn't do it. We've had the bust down, we've had the pullback, and it didn't have stronger momentum. That's what I mean by it. That's a good signal, that's not a good signal, or that's not a good signal. And I just literally noticed this during the day today, that if we get a break through the 34 EMA, that's that little grey thing there, the middle one, with your momentum and the RSI, it's good. And the TMA rather. So we could use that to filter out the bad entries. That's the point of this video. And as I've gone back through various currency pairs and various time frames, it's got a good win rate. So let's take the scroll off. In fact, we can drop down to the 5 minute, and you can see some other examples. Nothing here, nothing there. It's turned green, so I wouldn't really be interested. Might have a go on the 1 minute time frame. There's nothing to stop you using multiple time frames. But then we get a good trigger through the 34 EMA. This is still a work in progress, but we can see we've got the 20 on the RSI break there too. Well, it's not quite 20, otherwise we'd have an arrow down there, I think. The reason I say I think is because I can't remember whether I've set it to do that after a break. There are some special settings on the RSI, but I won't go into that now. But here we have, this has turned green, so we've clearly broken through the 34 and the 89. It's not the best example in the world, but it's still, if we've got clear air to the left hand side, so let's say up to that level there, it's still from the close of that candle there, which is our trigger, because remember, we've got to wait for the close, in this instance anyway, to that high, that's 10 pips. Scalper's heaven. Or if you're taking it to the extreme, which you wouldn't do, which I wouldn't do, of course, then it's 17 pips. This one filtered out there, and we wouldn't just enter. We're not as always with this stuff, you know me well enough now, we don't just hit it, we wait for a trigger on the lower time frame. So you'd go to the lower time frame, I'm not going to do that now, and drop down and look for a 1 minute signal, or perhaps the break of the high there. But even that, after the close of that candle, a few minutes, and that's 7 pips. Scalpers make money out of, well, less than 7 if you take the spread into account, but scalpers make money on 2 and 3 pips. I don't personally, very often. Not never, but not very often. And once again, we've got the TMA slope, clearly broken a fantastic level there, turned green, and a massive move. And I've been watching this for days now, not just through this level. I've been really getting into the TMA slope in a big way. So if we move to the 15-minute time frame again and have a look at a few more examples of what I was saying, take the scroll off. And this is for my own benefit, in case for whatever reason I forget what I've thought about in the middle of the night, then you know, that's why I'm making this video really. So once again, we've come up to the 34 here. We haven't got a TMA trigger, as it were. Well, not there, but when we do get the trigger, so the close of that candle, the next candle, that's a massive move on a 15-minute chart. And it's just something I've never noticed before, 51 pips. So in the opposite direction, well, we've got one there actually. It's broken through the 34 to the downside. We didn't get a trigger there, but we probably would have got an entry with the red arrow. That would have broken the 20 level. Because these print mid candle, and I trade them. If it looks, if that's right and that's right, I did say just now we wait for that to close, but you know, there are circumstances. You've got the 3CR there, so let's suppose even if this was right down near the bottom of the candle, you've still got a 20 pip move. That tiny move there is 20 pips on a 15-minute chart. These are crazy. So we've got another one there, an up move, a 3CR. So remember, I'm always watching these 3CRs carefully. Expect the pullback, and we've got the green. So in this instance, I will drop to the lower time frame, see what's happened. So we've had our green, we've got our pullback. So we wait for that candle to close. Well, we don't necessarily have to. We can look at it on that candle and look at the pullback. So it's highlighted, nothing else to confuse me. Let's have a look. There it is there. So that's the pullback there, and it pulls back below the 34. This is just a narrative, as it were. This is not part of of the strategy. And then, as we can see, we've broken up again, and we've finally got the TMA trigger there. We've also got the RSI trigger. We've got the lower time frame 3CR. We're on the 5-minute now, not the 15-minute, and this one closes, and I do go down to the lower time frame, so we're just doing this for simplicity, but 25 pips, you know. Always, this now has been on my charts, this setup, the TMA, the RSI histo, all of the EMAs, because you can see that they are used. I know everyone likes the 7s and the 9s and the 21s and all that lot, but I'm not the biggest fan of EMAs, or MAs should I say, moving averages, but you can't deny that price does respect them, and whoever found that 89 and however they found it, I do not know, but once again, you know, we're down to the candles. These are always a guideline, but this thing is proving absolutely monster interesting. I mean, just that simple thing there. You know, you can't really see the divergence going on with the with the RSI as clearly as you can with the TMA. You know, you've got price making a lower low, yet the TMA is pulling up. Just simple things, simple observations like that. A 3CR up, pull back, and just avoid getting involved. Move that over again. Avoid, and it's a 2B reversal as well, but don't take these chancy ones. You got the pullback after the 3CR there. It's an internal 3CR, that one, just a little baby one, but Aaron, who put this together, just did an amazing job. They become second nature, how these breaks of little resistance levels get tested as support, and then up it goes. But once again, we've got the TMA to look at. We haven't really got the 20 strength momentum there yet, but when it breaks through that both those EMAs and the whole dragon thing and this resistance on the left hand side, what do we get? A really fast move for 32 pips. I mean, that's, boy, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But to the downside, even here, broke through both of those EMAs, TMA slope again, and the reason I've got these blanked off is because I'm only interested in the green and I'm only interested in the red. And the settings on the TMA, they're all default except for one little setting. It's the ENT period. I don't know why this isn't opening up. Inputs is that one. It's standard. Default is 13. You need to change it to 7. That's it. It's a free indicator on my pinned tweet. So, as I said before, it's for my own benefit, but if anyone else gets any benefit from it, then great, because I'm liable to go to sleep and forget everything I thought of during the day today. So, once again, this one is not interesting because we're not through any significant period, or area should I say. I always want to be at least breaking through the dragon and the 34, the central 34 there I'm talking about. So now we can trade with and what I like is, I'll finish. I was going to say we can trade into the 89, the test of the 89, which I hadn't worked out a strategy for now, but this is clearly quite interesting. Look, we've got divergence there and there. We have it also on the RSI, which is like a belt and braces. I love it. If you get both, it's almost a slam dunk that something's going to give way. But the RSI doesn't always agree with the TMA, which is why partly I kept the TMA, persevered with the TMA. But I'm glad I did, because I'm not interested in that little push down there. There's no real interest because the RSI is not below 0 either. I'll get interested if we've got something going on like this. Simon's Vol Bomb, where you have a green and then a very small red, or the other way round in the up move. But we can see, the volume and the momentum is to the downside. But once again, here we go. We've closed through that 34 EMA, some sort of 3CR, probably on the higher time frame on the 15, and then pull back and continuation. And that's quite odd that we've got 3 arrows there. I think that's because I've got numerous of Dinesh's RSI histo on here as well, so I've been playing with all sorts of different templates, multi-time frame, but and that, I love that thing, thank you Dinesh. But finally, it's just a little bit too much unnecessary stuff on the charts at the moment. But this, and that's the interesting thing I noticed as well, really interesting. You can get a heads up as to what's going on, because when these want to give way, we get that change of colour on a small bar. If you get that small bar change of colour, get ready for something. So I know we've got a small bar change of colour there, but I'm not interested really, because it's nowhere near the 34. But at least I can see that pullback, and if this had closed through the 34, little pullback, continuation. So it's almost like an alarm system, as it were, you know. So we know we've got divergence, so we're watching this with, you could always set an alert here or something, or an alert around the 34, just so you can go and make coffee or something. But here we go again. I've got alerts going all over the place. So let's have a look for another example. So it's turned green here, and look at it, straight through the 34, and what happens? Boom. Be a little bit concerned about that into the 89, but even if you traded it to the 89 as a scalper, we've just broken those highs there. We had the pullback there. That's a sort of a big break of some sort of resistance over it, not technically a 3CR, or you could call it a 3CR there, and we've pulled back. Then we've had the momentum trigger. I set mine to 19, by the way. That's why it's gone off just before it's hit the first grey level. I think 18 or 19 for scalping on the 5-minute chart is a good setting to have it on. I have tested it, and 19 is the ideal. So there's our close. This is our entry, the break of the high there. Say, for example, on the 1 minute, 29 pips. Thank you very much. Take it to the bank. Let's have a look at that if we can on the 1 minute as well. So this was our sort of trigger, if you like, through the 34. That was our change, an alternative trigger using the TMA. So drop to the 1 minute on this. I'll keep that highlighted so it doesn't disappear. Hopefully we can see it. Might not be enough data. No, we're good to go. So not got the RSI data, but there's another 3CR there. Few little pullbacks, trusty little pullbacks, and then off she goes. And we're off the 89 in that case, but we've talked about this in the past, or I have. 34 switches the 89 as you move up and down the time frames. So, or roughly, I know it's not technically spot on, but so another little observation. This is why I love these digital as opposed to squiggly lines indicators, because they give you digital levels that I've talked about in my previous videos, and it's like a traffic light system. So I'm not interested in that on this 5-minute chart anyway. Deserves observation on the lower time frames, which is what I'm talking about all the time now. Multi-time frame momentum. That is showing you momentum's happening, so there's no reason why you can't drop down to M1 and see whether everything agrees. You know, trend line break, possible divergence on this time frame, and scalp a few pips. I mean, my scalping has gone through the roof since I've been really getting involved in multi-time frame momentum stuff. So so once again, we've just broken the 34, the little grey line, in case you're not clear on that. Just broken that 34 with a TMA slope, with a 20 momentum. You can see all of those arrows telling us, or should I say 19 momentum, and literally no drawdown whatsoever. Pips, micro pips. So there's the TMA changeover, and you know, all in all, up to the 89, that's 33 pips. These moves are bonkers. So we wouldn't take that to the downside. There'd be lots of other reasons we wouldn't as well, but we might start considering things looking good there. And as you can see, down it goes with virtually no drawdown. And you might want to, you know, this is early days with this new observation, but you might want to just let it close through it and pull back a couple of times and then trade the break, whatever. But the you know, it's a new thing in that I've just noticed. You know, even that one, it's a breakthrough. We've probably got some sort of divergence going on there as well with this high. Well, we have actually. I can see that there. So this is a crazy good I like to draw those. You know, that wedgie type thing there. It's come through. We've got the red hit me there. In fact, that's not a very good example because where did it change there? Actually, it's alright. 12 pips. Forget how big these moves are. 10 pips. So 4 or 5. Well, I don't go for 4. 5 pips scalp on that. And once again, we've got. I don't mention this enough either. I know we will have a problem around this this area here, and lo and behold, it virtually touches it to the pip, and that's a good thing to mention actually. Don't, you know, you've got spread, especially in short trades, you've got to take your spread into account. So I would set my take profit at about that level there. I know you're probably thinking, oh, he's just made that up, but no, always, you know, if you can get 5 or 6 pips to a good clear area away from the actual level, then that's what I go for, because the amount of times it doesn't touch it and then reverses on me, I can't even begin to mention. Or should I say, if I'd left it on, I always take the profit. If I've got a congestion area like this, an old 3CR, then I always close it a little bit earlier than that. But this is just, there's just examples everywhere. I'm sure you'll find plenty of examples that don't work particularly well. There, closed through 2 EMAs to the downside, plus a 3CR and all the stuff. There's the change of colour, and once it do, it just cruises on down. So we've got one to the upside here. You know, it's changed colour, and that's a monster move as well on this 5-minute chart. Probably got, yeah, we have got divergence in there as well. This is crazy. When you find, you know, I've found the 3CR, then I found the RSI, then I've added the TMA, because I knew they worked so well together. And then when you find these new little nuances, you just take it to the bank. You know, there it is. Changed colour, gone through the 34, and it's treated the 89 in this instance like a knife through butter. Sorry, I didn't want to use that. I am getting tired now actually, so I'm looking forward to some sleep. There, breakthrough of recent resistance level. You could put the line charts on there. All the old rules apply to get earlier entries, and a nice 36 pip move, even if you've just taken 10 or so pips to the 89, which I would do. Still good going. So what we've got going on here, yeah, we had a break through the 34 again, and it's turned red. There, you know, no false signals all this way up, no break through the 34 with a red TMA, and I'd still use the RSI for confirmation, but we've turned red, as I said, and that's a nasty bit of pullback there actually. 13 pips, that was nasty. But I've only just started scalping furiously, and I've only just started studying this this little thing. But one thing I've always said right from the start is choose your pairs carefully, because if this was a U, that would probably be a 4 pip spike and then a 5 pip target. But as it is, you know, you're going to get these spikes with GJ. You should still have your stop above the high. Remember, on a 2B VIX Brandio, his stop was always above the high. I trimmed it down because I was trading the less volatile pairs religiously. Trimmed it down to behind the level of the 3CR candle, which in this instance would have been that thing there. So we would have got stopped out on that one. But VIX Brandios in this instance would have kept you safe. So loads and loads of little things that you have to, you know, teach yourself by screen time. Excuse me. All we can do here is just, I like to think of myself now as a bit of an ideas factory. So once again, break through the 34 with the green, and then boom, up it goes. So that's it. My latest observation. This video is mainly for myself in case I forget what I was talking about or thinking, and if it gives you any sort of inspiration, then all to the good. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.